Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to your last new material for the year. We'll do a little bit of review and take a test, and we have our CFA, but for the most part, this is the last new thing. So we're going to start by reviewing two of the formulas that we used last week, pyramids and cylinders, and then we are going to add in cones and spheres. So take a minute to find the volume of each of these figures, and then we'll get started. All right, so like I said, we're doing cones and spheres. Both have circle-based things in them. So a cone looks like this, which hopefully you would know, like an ice cream cone. And so you find it by doing the area of the base, which is always a circle, pi r squared, times the height, and then divide by 3 or times by a third. So it's very similar to the pyramid formula, just instead of a square base, now it's a circle base, so it's pi r squared. Okay, so we're going to go through an example of one with a radius, one with a diameter, just for the two differences between how to solve that. So let me go ahead and pull up my other screen. We're going to start here first with the one that is going through the radius. Okay, so I'm just going to, again, write our formula. So pi r squared h divided by 3. Move some of my stuff. Okay, so we know that we're going to use 3.14 for pi. This right here is h, this right here is r, and then it's just a calculator problem. So this would be 3.14 times r squared, which is 7 squared, times h, which is 18, all divided by 3. Okay, and when you do that, you end up getting 923.16. And because we've really been focusing on rounding to a tenth, which is 1 decimal place, we would say that this is 923.2. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing with this one that's a diameter. And the only difference is that we have to start by dividing this by 2 to find out what our radius is. And then you find that your radius is 6.5. Okay, so basically if I took 6.5 and 6.5, I'd get 13 all the way across. So that's how I know that my radius is 6.5. Now again, we have our same formula. This is now r, this is h. So we would say 3.14 times 6.5 squared times 32, all divided by 3. And when you do that, you get 1,415.09, which again, to the nearest tenth would be 1,415.1. And because there's inches, it would be inches cubed. This first problem didn't have any units on it, so that's why we didn't have any units in our answer. This one did have units, so that's why we need to make sure that we have units in our answer. Okay, so you guys are going to try one of each of these. Make sure you're plugging them in correctly and getting to the right answer. So start with this one and find the volume of this cone. All right, and so now you're going to do this one. This one's a diameter, so remember you have to divide it by 2 to find the radius before you can plug it into the formula. All right, so our last formula is the formula for a sphere. It's the one that's the most different. It talks about there being r to the third power, which it's the only one that it is. But if you think about the way a ball would be, there would be a radius in 3 directions, up, out, and directly out. So that's the to the third power. So 4/3 pi r cubed. And if you're not super comfortable with fractions, I will show you a way to plug this into your calculator with just doing multiplication and division without it being a fraction, just to kind of help you out. Okay, so again, we're going to go through an example, one with a radius, one with a diameter, because those are the two different types of problems that you're going to see. I am going to pull up my screen for this one, and we'll start with the one that is just a radius. So again, 4/3 pi r cubed is our formula. So we already have R. So we're just going to say 4 times 3.14 times R to the third power, all divided by 3. So you notice that I took the 4 and the 4/3, made the 4 be multiplication and then division by 3. And that's going to get you the same answer as if you did 4/3 of something. So now it's something that you can actually type into your calculator. 4 times 3.14 times 3 to the third power, all divided by 3, and you should get 113.04. And if we were rounding to a tenth, we would just say 113. You don't even have to put 0.0. And because we are in centimeters, this would be centimeters cubed for this problem. Okay, so that's a radius. Well, if we have a diameter, then again, first of all, we need to divide our diameter by 2. And doing that gets us 25 and 25. So that's what we would say our radius is equal to. So again, using our 4/3 pi r cubed, we would say 4 times pi times our radius cubed, all divided by 3. So this is going to be a big number because 25 to the third power is going to be a lot. Also, in case you don't have a to the third power, a lot of times, I'm going to try to point to it. A lot of times you'll have this button right here. I guess it is a little bit blurry. It says X to a box. That means I can type that and put any number in there. So I would type that in and put 25 and then to the third. And so then it shows up as 25 to the third. If you're not sure where that button is on your calculator, you can just let me know and I can help you find it. So I took 4 times 3.14 times 25 to the third power and divided it by 3, and you get 65,416.66. So if we were rounding this to the nearest tenth, we would round this to a 0.7, and we are centimeters, so centimeters cubed. Okay, now one thing you'll notice about spheres, and it might make you doubt your work, is that sometimes your numbers are going to be quite large. If you have anything as a radius that is 10 or larger, it's going to be a pretty big number. So don't be panicking if you end up getting a large number. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Remember, we're raising it to the third power, so it kind of makes sense. So now we're just going to have you do one of each type of these. So here's the first one. This 42 represents the diameter, so you're going to have to divide it first before you can plug it into the formula. So go ahead and find the volume of the sphere. And lastly, one that has a radius, go ahead and find the volume of the sphere. Also, there is an exit ticket. You do need to score a 3 out of 4 on it for credit. So go ahead and get that done as soon as you're done with this. And let me know if you have any questions at all.